What's happening there, on?
Before we even get into this, is there a way that I can make the biggest spoiler alert?
So,
like there's spoiler alerts, like
I'm not. We're gonna spoil it.
We're gonna go into this film. If you haven't seen it, don't watch this video. As much as we want the views,
here's what we're gonna do.
Don't watch this video.
We're gonna just talk about it for like 5 minutes, non-spoiler. No, we're just gonna say what we feel about it, and then we're gonna get into it.
Alright, cool.
We'll get into it.
But if you haven't watched it,
watch it,
and then watch it again because we're going to watch it again.
We're going to watch it again. So, we've been excited for this film. You know, we watched the first trailer that dropped, and we were hooked. Like, we were sold.
I watched it so many times that I was late for work that day.
We were sold. We were sold from the jump, and then we were like, "Cool, we gotta watch all the Spider-Mans that are out," and we did.
We did. Toby, Andrew, Tom. There's only 3 of them.
There's only 3. we was listening, but you already know. You already know that. And then we was like, "Oh, we like Toby, we like Andrew, we like Tom." We just ended up liking all of them.
There's so many emotions that I'm feeling right now. I cried so many times.
Roller coaster.
I cried so many times.
Alright, let's tell the people what the film's about. Okay, if you haven't seen the trailer, right?
Oh, we're going like, why? Go watch the fucking trailer.
Alright, go watch the trailer, but then come back to us. If you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it.
Going into the film, I was like, I can't set my... Spoiler alert.
I know, fuck it, we gotta go. Spoiler. We're starting, I don't care.
Going into the film, I was like, I can't have my expectations too high. I can't.
Quote from the film: expect to be disappointed all the time. I think that's something she says. What did she say?
Expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed.
That's it. Set up. And that's what I went into this film with no expectations. I was like, because if they don't happen, I'm going to be very upset.
The only things I can guarantee are what I saw in the trailer. So cool, we got 5 of the Sinister Six.
And we were like, cool, it's just going to be Tom versus
them.
them.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
And that
Maybe
would be
Doctor
a very
Strange.
good film. That would be a very good film.
It would be.
And then, you know, the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Venom was in the universe and I was like...
Okay. Is he the 6th?
Is he... Do you know what I mean?
And that's the film.
Imagine.
And then...
Okay, we're already doing the spoilers. Why would you do that? Why would you tease me like that?
And then we're going to get a black suit
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man?
Have him...
You know what I'm saying?
No, but like not have him in the film. Like, but why? That's the only reason I do not give this film 10 out of 10.
That's your only reason?
That's the only reason, because they did that in terms of Venom just for convenience. Just so he could leave that little speck there. To bring him to...
There's a post-credit scene.
It was just for convenience.
There's a post-credit scene, and it's Venom in Mexico, and they're talking to a bartender trying to locate Spider-Man. And then, having a general conversation.
Strange's spell works again, so he goes back to his original universe.
As he's disappearing, Venom seems to seep out of Tom. We don't see it, but his hand's on the table, and then there's a little speck of Venom on the table with the mission to go find Spider-Man. That's Venom's intent as well.
So we're like, alright, cool, now he's in the universe.
So
next Spider-Man film. Whatever. But, like...
Why do that to us?
You can't get me peeing my pants at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And then not have him in the film. Like, why?
But...
No, because even in the film, even in this No Way Home, he still wasn't in the film. He was in the fucking post-credit.
But that doesn't matter.
No, bro.
It doesn't matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Do you know why it doesn't matter? Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because, I'm going to say it one last time. I'm spoiling it. The film is spoiled from here. Toby and Andrew are in the film. That's why none of it matters. We get to see Spider-Mans, all of them, 3 of them.
Spider-Man.
3 films. 3 films in 1 film. I'm saying it. The best Marvel film
I think Kieran lactated a bit.
To date, the best Marvel film to date. Tom Holland, the best Spider-Man. The best Spider-Man. He takes Toby, he takes Andrew, He takes a bit of Tom and he puts it together and he makes the best Spider-Man. Do you know why he makes the best Spider-Man? Do you know why he makes the best Spider-Man? Because he done it all. He had the best run. The best consecutive run. We go from
such a big statement.
We go from Civil War to Infinity War to Endgame. Yeah?
That was such a big statement.
I don't care. He's the best Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. Same way Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. We can argue about Cap, but Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. And Tobey Maguire is my favourite Spider-Man, but Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Tell me I'm wrong. You're going off. Do you know why you're saying that? Because you're going off something you grew up.
That's such a big statement.
You're going off something you grew up.
That's such a big statement.
But
do you know, I'm not even saying that I disagree with you.
But you haven't heard it.
I need to have my asthma pump if you're going to be saying things like that.
It's the best Spider-Man. It's silly to... It's so silly to argue that. He's the best Spider. He went so in. He went so in the film.
He fucked it up.
Like, you was watching it and you felt like, he's Spider-Man. Like, it's silly to not call him Spider-Man. And like, there's a scene where... There's a scene between all three of them where Toby and Andrew are like, he's Spider-Man as well. Like, they acknowledge his Spider... And they sort of like pass him the torch.
Yeah.
They pass him the torch to carry on Spider-Man's legacy. That's not taken away from Toby and Andrew. Like, their Spider-Man films are like, I'm biased, but their films are just great anyway.
Their films are banging.
Yeah?
See, when I was younger, I'm not even going to say when I was younger, before we even rewatched it, so a week ago, I was like, Tobey Maguire's the best. Who's Andrew Garfield?
And we watched Andrew Garfield.
Then we went and rewatched The Amazing Spider-Man.
And we're just like, his films are just fucking lit.
They're both so...
She doesn't do that. I don't know where that's coming from, but that's coming out of nowhere. Like...
No, I have another reason why it wasn't a 10 out of 10.
Why?
Because they gave Ned the ring and the powers of new universes.
Right.
Then
because you're not setting it up properly. You're not setting it up properly. You're not setting up properly.
What? Go on.
No, you set it up.
Alright, cool. So they gave him the powers and that, yeah. And he was all like, "Oh, I'm gonna be Master Ned."
How does he get the powers?
What do you mean? I said the ring.
No, but how does he get the ring? You're not telling them the story.
What's the fucking film?
We're spoiling it for them, so we might as well spoil it correctly.
If you're watching this review, you've seen the film.
Alright.
So,
cool. So Spider-Man and Doctor Strange have a fight, and they take the ring and the box.
And he opens up the world, cool, and we're like, oh my god, we're gonna see Master Ned. Yeah, they're masters, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, and he's gonna like protect the New York sanctum.
Ned wasn't gonna do that.
I'm just saying, like, there was potential for all this.
Alright, but he was open up.
And then you wipe his memory.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. There's a lot of wasted potential.
In the post credit scene, it's going to be the new Doctor Strange film. So there was more than enough. Like, he could have been in it.
Yeah.
Like, the storyline would have flown very smoothly.
It would have been cool to have,
you don't do that.
Spider-Man and, like, a Doctor Strange apprentice working together. That would have been cool. We digress. So, my favourite scene... So, Tom's whole attitude towards it was because him and Aunt May... Well, Aunt May convinced him to try save...
Oh, you can't be bringing up her
I have to.
That. I wasn't ready.
I have to. So, Aunt May and Green Goblin are in a room together and they're talking, but it's not Green Goblin, it's Norman Osborn. And then Tom comes across and is like, we gotta send him back. He has to go. And then Aunt May's like, no, we gotta give everybody a chance. And he's like, alright, whatever. So the premise of the film is to try and save the villains.
Why are you explaining the film?
Because I have to explain it.
Alright, Willem Dafoe, fuck that shit up.
He killed it. Spider-Man and Green Goblin's fights were crazy.
You're
in
telling
Happy's
me that
apartment
a man
block
has come back 19 years later
and still killed it.
Fucked up the road like that.
Still killed it.
I'm busting up my finger.
Yeah.
Look how red it is.
Damn, a weak sauce. But that apartment fight between Spider-Man and Green Goblin was dark. It was scary. It was everything. We saw a side of Spider-Man we didn't see. and it was
yeah.
gritty because when he was on top and he was thumping him. He wasn't hitting him. He was
That's what
thumping
I mean.
him.
Like Tom Holland.
He fucked it up.
Yeah, because that felt real.
Like he was thumping him, and the anger was there.
That was some British punches as well.
The lads like Green Street, innit? But like, he was angry, and then
my heart's pounding. Where's the pump, Kieran? Where's the actual pump?
Somewhere in here, man.
See it there. Alright, it's cool. We're good.
So, and then, you know, they get into like the reception area of the apartment building, and that's where it just gets real sad. It starts hurting. And then that's where we lose.
Yeah, that
May.
scene made me cry twice because obviously you see her get impaled.
But you don't see her get impaled. You see her get hit.
You see her get hit.
And you think, oh, she's cool because she's talking.
Oh no, I was like, yeah, but you think she died there. So I started crying.
And then
she was talking again. And I'm like, oh
she's
shit,
up and about.
She's gonna make it.
And then she walks.
And then she dies
like,
again.
But the walk.
How you gonna make me cry twice?
The walk is like, it solidifies her being alive. You don't think you get a death blow, you're gonna walk. You know what I'm saying?
As I'm wiping one tear, the other one's falling.
And then she drops. And the scene between Aunt May and Spider-Man is it's a heart throbbing. It is tears in the eyes. I'm ready to pop. Who's cutting the onions? Like moment.
And it's because she's the best Aunt May.
Yeah. She's the best. Well, who cares about them too?
I like Amazing Spider-Man's Aunt May.
Alright, they're alright. But she's the best Aunt May. And then she quotes the line. Portia.
Did she?
With great power
Did she say
comes
that?
great responsibility.
So this is why we need to watch it again. We're watching it again.
And I was just like, oh, you didn't have to do us like that. And then she dies, and then Spider-Man's just a wreck. And we're just like, oh, damn, man.
And I'll tell you why this film's mad, because that happens, then he goes up, they find him, and then they introduce him to the two new Spider-Mans. So I'm there upset and excited at the same time.
So they're in Ned's house.
What's the name of these directors? Because how are you gonna fuck up with my emotions like that?
I don't know.
Let me actually chat to you. I'm gonna chat to you.
And then they're in Ned's house, and then they say, what do they do? They go, find Peter Parker. They spun it left. And who's in the portal? Who's in the portal?
Oh, we're going back.
I'm getting excited again. Who's in the portal?
John Watts. Yeah. You're a G, but relax in it. Give me time.
But yeah, then Ned goes, spins it left, find Peter, and who pops out? Andrew Garfield. And we're like, yeah. Everyone in the cinema's like,
because I've got a full-on hard-on for Andrew since I've rewatched Amazing Spider-Man.
Amped up. And then they're all talking, MJ, Ned, Andrew, Spider-Man. We're just like, they're all conversating and like,
Man just jumped on the ceiling.
And then
he went,
he's like, he's all dangling. He's like, what else you want to do? And then they're making clean a cobweb. I find that so funny. And then they're like, wait, but we still got to find Peter. So let me spin it left again. And he spun it. Nothing happened, but the portal opened up behind him. And then who pops up? The Moon Man.
Tobey Maguire.
The Moon Man, and the crowd goes wild. Films start coming out. Everyone's excited.
The cinema was so loud.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Toby aged like shit, but that's not.
No, he didn't.
He aged.
He's older. He aged, but he didn't age like shit.
He didn't age like shit, but he aged, and that was. I thought,
it's been 19 years.
I mean, how old is he?
19 plus, however he was.
Right. So then we get to see all of them together.
He still look good in his spider suit though. Fuck it up, Toby. Go on.
We see them all together and we're just like, shit. And then we see Tom, Toby and Andrew. They're just all conversating, talking, webbing up ideas.
All the villains were so... Sandman didn't age.
No, he didn't.
At all.
He didn't.
Like, what's your routine? Sorry, like... That was... Because he was sand for most of it, so I'm like, oh, cool, CGI.
But then when they changed him back...
And I was like...
And I like what
look the same.
But I like what they did with Electro. They done Electro justice. I'm so happy they got rid of that blue CGI rubbish they had on him. You can't have Jamie Foxx.
And I like that they acknowledged it. They weren't just like, oh... Electricity.
They can't just have Jamie Foxx as a blue man. It's Jamie
I like
Foxx.
that they changed it up, and I respect what they did with Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus.
Because he was always a good man.
It was the
thing
stupid
that
arms.
was getting him, and I like that they still kept that, and then he was still good and helping them. Because when he came back, and you were like, "Oh shit, is he bad? He's gonna be on their side." It's like, nah, bro.
Lizard, I thought. See, all right.
Lizard.
Here's my issue with the film, right? And I'm just gonna quickly just speak about one film in particular. Yeah, Snyder Cut, Justice League. That film was 4 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
20 minutes of Flash. Just slow running. Nothing. 20 minutes of that.
I enjoyed it. I like Flash.
Yeah, we both like Flash. But I'm saying they just wasted 20 minutes of my life watching everything in slow motion because of Flash. This film should have been longer. And the only reason I say it should have been longer, so we got more development between the Spider-Mans and the villains.
Yes.
And then that way we would have been like, oh, this film, that would have been my 10. 100%. Yeah. It's a 9, but the film's a 10.
Yeah.
The film's a 10, but for me, it's like 9.9. That 0.1, it's just
if
like...
If there's an extended cut, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. I think they need to release an extended cut, if there is one, because we need... I feel like Lizard was wasted.
Yeah.
We didn't see him.
Yeah.
We didn't get to experience the relationship between Dr. Octopus and the Spider-Man, because he was a good guy. Obviously, you know, in the end... like
and Sandman.
And Sandman, but he's a bit of... No, what are you talking about? He was fighting in the thing.
Yeah, but... like, in the extended cut, like, these are things that I want to see.
Like, Sandman, and obviously the main villains were Green Goblin, piece of shit, but Willem Dafoe fucked it up. Electro, and who else? Was that it?
That was sort of it. Even Dr. Octopus, like, once they fixed him...
there was just... I feel like it was very short in the fight. Like, but don't get me wrong, that final fight was amazing. Like, it gave me Endgame goosebumps. It was like, whoa, like, it just pumped me up.
I was more excited for in this film than in Endgame. Endgame, because you had to develop the story, Endgame was slightly slower. Slightly.
Yeah, there's parts of Endgame which it was a bit slow. I'll admit that.
Oh,
but
this film.
But when you
every minute.
But
I don't even want to blink.
There's moments in this film where you see all three Spider-Men, and it's just like you don't want to you want to stop blinking, and like there's so many picturesque moments between them. It's like it's so banging.
It's so good.
And the comedy between the three of them, because you know how Toby's got the organic web shooting, and then all of them got the cartridges, and they're just like, it was funny seeing the Spider-Mans from Sony interact with each other and see what was different and all that. And another tear-jerking scene was Andrew saving Mary Jane. Oh my God. That scene...
Sorry.
That scene was emotional. You saw it all come together. He's like, why didn't I do this? He was sad, and he saw MJ. She was thanking him. She's like, thank you, and he was like, don't mention it.
Yeah. Then she was like, are you all right?
And he was like, yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna cry again. I'm having. What's wrong with me? Hormones are all over the place.
It was sad. It was so sad. We need it. That
was so good. Like the way they did it, because obviously in the trailer you see Spider-Man and Mary and MJ, like, do you know what I mean? And then obviously we see that he's like taken away by Green Goblin, and like,
man,
I didn't, because we know that they were going to recreate the scene. I just didn't know that they were going to have Andrew save it. And they fucked it up, bro.
They just smoked the whole film. They didn't need to do it like that.
You guys,
it didn't need to be this way.
It was so good.
It was too good.
My back's tight.
I'm hot.
Massage me. I can't. There's too much going on.
Too good. I've been in the mood from that film. I've been in the mood. And then the fight scene at the end between Green Goblin and Tom, it was violent. It was anger.
And then they stabbed Toby.
And then everyone was just... My heart...
The whole cinema.
In my bum. I was about to poo my heart out. I was like, they can't kill two people in this film. You can't do it. Don't do it. I'm still hurt about Aunt May.
Could you imagine bringing the Spider-Mans to off one?
Wait, you're going to bring back Toby of all Spider-Man. Obviously, you can't kill Andrew either or Tom, but you can't kill Toby. But they tried, and then they had made a little joke. I've been stabbed multiple times. I ain't seen you been stabbed though, so don't do that to me because I ain't ready for it. Yes. Tobey's Spider-Man means a lot to me. So
I'm fulfilled. As much as I would change little bits, I am so fulfilled by this film.
yeah. And there's a big contradiction in the film as well.
But why did you wipe the memory? Sorry, go on. You do you first.
But there's a big contradiction in the film, which I later thought about. Well, I later saw about it, then my brain sort of kicked it in.
No, you got to give credit where credit is due.
So shout out SpiderTeam.it. I'm trying to say I'm old. So he. Oh, and Daredevil, but we'll come back to him in a minute. So the big contradiction in the film is, it also involves Loki. Now, for people that ain't watched Loki,
Watch it.
yeah, that show, that show is banging. But the premise of Loki is that there's a multiverse, and each timeline is destined to end that way.
He's stuck with the timekeepers because he fucked up the timeline in Endgame.
Endgame, yeah.
Is it Endgame when they go back? When he goes and takes the Tesseract
and
then zooms
then
out. Cool. Watch it. So yeah, the whole point is that he's messed up
the
the
timeline.
timeline.
And now he needs to die to fix it.
But does this not mess up the timeline? Like
the big contradiction is that Tom tries to cure the villains and send them back, but things happen already in their timeline where Green Goblin dies, Electro dies, Gwen dies,
I'm
and
gonna have to bring up Gwen.
Doc dies. Like the outcome is destined to be that way. But when you suck them out of the timeline and try to cure them, it
And
messes
then put them back.
It messes up everything. It contradicts the whole. It either contradicts Loki or contradicts the film. But for the sake of it, it contradicts Loki. So, I mean, maybe it's just it's just one of those things. Just like don't look into it too deep. But it's like it's obvious considering that in the Marvel series that they've been releasing, purple's a big theme. I don't know. Maybe we're just picked up on it. But like when Doctor Strange is in the sky and everything's cracking open, we see purple and all the villains that were gonna come out of it and all of that jazz. It's like, oh, and your brain clicks like, oh, purple's a theme.
Yeah, when Loki and Girl Loki go to the head person.
Yeah, and it's all purple. It's all like connected.
Something else was purple in one division as well. I can't remember what.
The villain.
Sure.
She was all purple, and so like you pick up and it's like, wait, it's either the Spider-Man films before Tom Holland don't exist for the sake of this film, or it's just movie nonsense.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. And the whole forgetting Peter Parker.
See, that's another thing I don't get. Why not make them forget Mysterio revealed Peter Parker was Spider-Man, or just remove the memory of everyone knowing, like, why did
the original spell where you forget he's Spider-Man, but you don't forget Peter Parker.
Maybe that was completely something we missed in the film, in the excitement of it, because I don't know the reason why he done that. Like that was a bit silly, because that ends the trilogy of the high school.
Yeah. So it just seems like the next Spider-Mans are just going to be him chasing after Ned and MJ through MIT.
I hope they sort that out in the first film. I don't want to watch 2 or 3 films of. Another thing, which you sort of pick up throughout the films, is that there's a Spider-Man sort of Iron Man Jr. from like his suits and all that stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, you sort of agree-ish, because the whole nanotech, and that was Stark's big thing and that. But the end scene we get is amazing. It's a mixture of all 3 of the Spider-Man suits, and it's like now Spider-Man is like Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like he's got his suit, he's got his no like arms coming out of it, no fancy business. It's just him and his web cartridges and Spider-Man.
Like fluid. God. Gosh.
But it's just him and being this Spider-Man, and that just makes me happy.
Are we gonna touch on Daredevil?
Right.
Okay, we're gonna touch on Daredevil.
Touch on Daredevil. Now Daredevil, between Daredevil and Punisher, was my favourite Netflix Marvel series thing. They were both different. There was no good outcomes. It was proper dark and gritty.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
No. Sorry. The Netflix screensavers are going off next to us.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me because I just saw Harry from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and how Ned was like... What did he say?
How Ned was like what?
I'm never gonna try and kill you. Ned is underrated.
Ned's a good character. But what was I? You lost me.
I'm completely...
Right.
Sorry, but...
Netflix series
Netflix.
had Marvel and Daredevil and Punisher were my favourite ones.
I like Punisher.
They were gritty, they were different, they weren't like... I don't want to say child-friendly, but it wasn't like...
Is anti-heroes at the word?
Anti-heroes, that's it. I like vigilantes and anti-heroes and stuff like that, because it's just different. And I think the film... Yeah, you know the way it is anyway. Like, they needed a lawyer to save them from going to jail.
It was cheeky to just...
Peter busts his case and Aunt May's looking for prison time, but she don't go there. I mean, she's in a grave now.
But to introduce that side of Marvel into that universe is problematic.
It's big. It's a big thing.
It's problematic.
Because that means... What was they doing?
Because...
I mean, in college, is Kingpin going to be a problem for Spider-Man? Bearing in mind, I have not watched Hawkeye. I don't know we haven't watched it yet.
I know that Yelena's in it, so I want to watch it now.
So
I like her.
Is Kingpin, because Kingpin and Spider-Man they do go at each other in the comics and that. So in the new films, we know Venom. Definitely, we can. I think it's safe to say Kingpin, and I mean it'll be an interesting thing because Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain. So.
But what my issue is that S.H.I.E.L.D. and Avengers exist in the same universe. Cool. But if the Marvel series also existed within that universe, then why would S.H.I.E.L.D. not be after people like Punisher?
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, cool. All Avengers deal with the big guys, innit? Thanos and shit. But...
Not good, though. They're not that good.
But look, Punisher's there. Like, he's a good guy, but he's not a good guy. He would be a threat. And the same way that what's the Daily Bugle guy? I want to bite my tongue with the amount of J's in this.
Jonah Jameson.
Him. The way he like goes after Spider-Man as, he's a bad guy,
that's a good point.
Where's that same attention for these other anti-heroes?
Daredevil fucks some shit. But Punisher, he's got bodies. Like, I'll never forget the first episode of Punisher. He's just murking people. Bang! Gone. Bada bing, bada boom.
I just feel like there's just tiny little movie holes
that could just solidify this film even more. It's already solidified, but like just, ramp it up a bit.
But I mean, I know movie logic is just movie logic and sometimes you just have to accept it.
Yeah.
But me and my logical brain I don't fuck with movie logic.
And she just points out, so I have to think about it, so it doesn't work for us sometimes.
But in conclusion...
Watch Spider-Man.
It was so
just
good.
Watch it. For your own sake. I mean, I was...
Toby and Andrew in the fucking film.
I was avoiding social media like a bullet to the back of the head. I was avoiding it. Want nothing to do with it. And I'm so happy that nothing got spoiled. Obviously, there were speculations. We see Green Goblin and Electro, like from the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, like you couldn't bring the villains and not the Spider-Man.
But then they could somehow.
Lazy.
I could imagine. But
I mean, if you couldn't reach a contract, you really could have done that.
They done it, but Disney owns Marvel, so they got all that money flying about, and people got the money they wanted. And I'm just excited to see where the Spider-Man universe goes now. Obviously, the next film, it's gonna be a hard film. It's gonna have to do something crazy.
It's gonna be a hard film to top.
I know Spider-Man. I know Black Suit Spider-Man is like an interesting one, but
what's the next Marvel film to be released? Do you know how hard it is to top that film? That film instantly went in top 3.
Instantly.
Instantly.
It went into one of Marvel's best films they've made. It was just solid throughout the whole thing.
There was not a every minute.
I didn't feel like I was wasting. I didn't feel like I didn't care about it. I was so invested in every inch of that film. It was nuts. I mean, the next Spider-Man film is going to be hard for them to top that the next Marvel film, you're just gonna have to do something crazy. Unless like Doctor Strange has got like Loki and all that jazz in it. That would be interesting, but it's gonna be it's gonna be an uphill battle for Marvel now.
But do you know what, Tom Holland? You did us proud. You did us Brits proud. Still,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Come link us up in
Wherever you're from.
Ends, innit?
Yeah.
Ends. And Zendaya. And Andrew, Toby, Jacob. I don't know his last name.
Oh, tight. Oh, you just said Toby and Andrew, so.
Oh, Jacob.
Benedict. CM Baker Street show. Yeah, man.
No. This is just, yeah. I mean, we're gonna watch it again. Who knows? Might do another video. But for now, I feel like we've been talking for like half an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Go watch the film.
Go watch the film. Subscribe.
Like
give
that
us a thumbs
subscribe
up,
button and subscribe to that like button.
Comment your favourite moment.
Yeah, I want to know.
And if it is a spoiler, please just put like spoiler alert at the top of the comment.
And then like just bring it down a little bit. Don't spoil it for no one. I mean, we spoiled it for the people that don't really care about it.
But we warned you, so it's okay.
It's alright, yeah.
Anyway. Bye guys.
See you later.
Bye.